Well, hello. My name is Dr. August Dunning. I do these nifty little beach walks and talk about dry fasting. And if you've been following the last couple of videos, I have completed my Fisetin hit and run. And in the morning I'm doing this. The reason I'm doing that is because the Fisetin has destroyed all these senescent cells, and the senescent cells are now making all these cell-free chromatin particles in the extracellular matrix, and so I take resveratrol and copper. I take copper every day with retinol anyway because that's how I make ceruloplasmin to balance iron. But it turns out if you take resveratrol with copper, it does something really amazing. It actually causes a type of oxidative stress inside the extracellular matrix that produces hydroxyls and hydrogen peroxide that neutralize the chips, that these cell-free chromatin particles get neutralized and are able to get out of the body. And the reason this is important is because when these cells get chewed up by a lysosome, they let out all the iron that's in the cell too. And that's all in the extracellular matrix, and that causes fibrosis. And that's another reason I take resveratrol. It's an antifibrotic. So during the time after the Fisetin hit and run, I'm suppressing any fibrotic activity and any fibrosis by the introduction of iron and these chips into the extracellular matrix, because that's where it's going. When they get ground up, they get thrown out of the cell, and the cell throws it outside the cell in the extracellular matrix, which causes all kinds of problems if you leave them there. And of course, if you do this in the morning or 2 or 3 times a day, you don't have the problem with these things because it is an excellent lymphocyzer. What it does is these mini trampolines, when you go up and down on a little trampoline like that, you're going to like 2 or 3 times gravity weight on the up push, okay, and 0 gravity at the top. That's a huge pumping action for your lymphatic system. So that's the deal. I'm on resveratrol every couple of days, and here's why. Because every couple of days, resveratrol will activate more NADH. That's great because that means your ATP is being produced correctly. And it lasts for like 3 days. And in this chart, you can see that one 500 milligram dose is conjugated. As soon as it gets eaten, part of it's absorbed into the digestive system, into the bloodstream. It goes to all the cells, and resveratrol goes into the sirtuins, and part of it is conjugated, which is unconjugated in the bowel, so you get more resveratrol in the bowel with the enterocytes giving them the resveratrol for their sirtuins, because those cells, all cells have sirtuins. And that's the bigger issue here, because you've gotten rid of senescent cells, you've got the lymphatic pump going with the resveratrol and the copper to get rid of the chips and the iron and stuff in the extracellular matrix, and you've activated resveratrol into the sirtuins so that they can help the sirtuin make the NAD that it needs to operate to fix all the genetic problems and code violations while you're dry fasting. You see, this is why I'm doing this. This is a concerted effort where you do the hit and run. If you've never done a gallbladder flush, you probably want to do one of those first. Just saying it right from the beginning. But usually what I'm doing now is prior to a dry fast, I do the hit and run. I get rid of senescent cells. Then that period, that 5 days in the hit and run, then 15 days in the clearing out the senescent cells with bouncing on the trampoline and getting rid of the extracellular matrix iron and cell-free chromatin particles, and getting that all out of the way. So by the time I go into a dry fast, I've activated my sirtuins so they can do a better job of fixing all the genetic code violations and fix all that stuff up. I've gotten rid of all the problems, so there's nothing to deal with while I'm in the dry fast. All those problems have been removed. And this dry fast should be a really neat one. I'm expecting some really good benefits by having all this pre-work done. You know, I always do a little electrolyte loading right before I go into a dry fast. We'll get to that when I go into it. But for the most part, this is just a pre-treatment period to get rid of things that would have to be dealt with in a dry fast, that if it's not there, then you'd get more regeneration and more rejuvenation and less housekeeping. That's the plan anyway. Anyway, I'm at the beach and it is beautiful. There's waves out there just as usual. Atlantic surf is slow. It has no form. It doesn't curl over. It just crashes on itself. But who knows? Maybe I'll be out tomorrow morning and trying to surf anyway. That's the way I am. It's always a good day to get wet. Anyway, I love you guys. That's the video today. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And if it's the first time to my channel, check below to see some of the videos down there because I have a lot of stuff going on. I got some new books coming online soon, and that's about it. Hit the like button. The more you hit a like and the more you share, the more this algorithm on YouTube pushes this stuff out to more people so they get more of this message out, because this is my blow against the empire, the medical empire. Let's get people healthy and see if that's what fixes the problem. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you later.
Yes?
We have a message. Can you remind people to subscribe, please, sir?
What now?
Please.
Oh, very well.